Hey guys, it's Clay, CPAP My Way, CPAPmyway.com. Today I am here to give you a rundown on my top picks for CPAP masks for 2025. These may not all be brand new masks. Some things are tried and true, so I stick with what works in my opinion and in the opinion of a majority of our customers. Keep in mind we deal with a ton of them, so we get a lot of feedback and we really just try to pass that along to you. 3 of them are brand new, and they've really been some really cool upgrades and things that we definitely want to share with you. All of these are going to be quick hits on the top reasons why it would or would not work for you, which particular mask that is. Keep in mind I have detailed videos with try-ons, reviews, sound levels of each individual mask. So scroll down to the description after watching this and you'll be able to watch the detailed views of the reviews of any of these masks so that you can get real familiar with them if you want more information after learning about the top points here. As always, please hit us with a thumbs up if you like it, subscribe for more information, and comment with any feedback you've got on the video as well as on these masks. If you have experience, that's huge for everybody else in the audience. So let's jump right in. All right, first up is the Solo Nasal Pillow Mask. This one's made by Fisher & Paykel. It is brand new to the market. A very cool mask. I think a lot of people have liked it so far. You notice it's a nasal pillow mask. So if you pull it away, you'll see the nasal little buds. But when it goes against the nose, it almost functions like a cradle mask. So one of my favorite features about this particular mask is it's a bit of a hybrid, a combination of nasal pillow and cradle. That way not all the pressure's on the nostrils, but not all of the seal relies on the outside cradle. So you get the best of a pillow seal with the comfort of a cradle. Additionally, something really unique about this particular mask, as I pull the headgear back here, is it has, I think they call it an auto fit, but a self-fitting headgear. So there's no straps, no adjustments, nothing to wear out. Everybody hates their Velcro wearing out. You just guide it up against your nostril there, right? Press it gently into place, and it holds itself there firmly, right? You don't have to adjust anything on the back or on the top. It holds itself there with these little auto-locking mechanisms that are inside the frame there. Nice little stretch tube with swivel, moves around really well, extremely well diffused mask. You're not going to hear anything. This one's a really cool option for people looking for a very minimal amount of touch on their face. Additionally, if you don't like the pillows going in your nostrils, it has a cradle design that's just cradle alone with the opening underneath, and it doesn't have anything going in the nostril at all if that's something that bothers you, and they slip in and out of the same frame. No issue switching back and forth. In fact, some people start off with both just so they can see which fits better. Downsides, this is not going to be for those of you who are mouth breathers. So if you get a lot of dry mouth, this is probably not the best option for you, nor would be most of the other nasal options. The other thing I'll say that many people have reported as a drawback is that they like their adjustable headgear. So over time, people, either through the functionality of it or through just being accustomed to it, prefer adjustable headgear as opposed to this auto fit headgear. Some people have said that they just don't like that upgrade. And the last drawback I'll point out has been, it has been reported by some, and this may go along with the auto fit headgear, that it's not quite as stable on the head for people that are restless sleepers back and forth. I think that's probably because of the adjustment, self-adjusting headgear, but we haven't had a ton of feedback on that, so I wouldn't throw everything away just for that. It's definitely worth a try. We've got a ton of positive feedback on this mask. Next up is the AirTouch N30i. There's so many airs and I's with ResMed, it's really hard for me to get it straight when I'm saying it. AirTouch N30i. This is a really cool new mask, and we've had a ton of positive feedback on it. It's very unique in the fact that there is no silicone touching your face. It is a surrounded fabric and a fabric cushion right there that rests up against your nose. It is a cradle design, so there's no nostril pillows going into the nose. And you'll notice on the cushion here, I'll pull it away so you can take a peek there. It's got 2 little openings with a little diaphragm or whatever you want to call it between to keep it stable on the face. This is a great mask for people who move side to side at night because of the top of the head tube design. It goes back and forth with you, so as you go back and forth, you're not dragging tubing across the bed with you. The minimal design of this mask allows for an open line of sight, so if you're claustrophobic or just don't like things in front of your face, it wraps underneath the nose, giving you a wide open, clear line of sight. You can wear glasses, watch TV, read before bed, and that's a nice option. And this really is the only cradle fabric CPAP nasal mask that's out there with this particular design. So it truly is one of a kind. And if you've had unique issues with masks, this may be the unique fit to help you. 3 things I'm going to point out as potential downsides to this mask. The fabric seal may need to be washed and replaced more often, just because silicone's so easy to wipe down and it lasts darn near forever. Fabric is not that way. As we know, it's going to collect moisture and stain and have some obvious issues that go along with it. So you're going to have to replace it more often, likely. Maybe not surely, but likely. And the last thing I'll point out is that a lot of users on this and other styles or other masks in this style category, people have an issue with it slipping up the back of their head and falling off. For most people, as long as you get it fit below, you know, what they call that, the nape or whatever, the back of the head where that little bump is. And if you have hair, maybe putting it in a ponytail above that, it typically stays on just fine, but that has been something reported by some users of this particular mask. ResMed makes a great mask. This is a cool new option for 2025 and one you should keep in your list of considerations, especially if you like the side-to-side movement and no silicone touching the face. Next up is an old friend of mine. This one's been out a while, but I'm really sticking with it as one of my top recommendations for traditional full face masks. By traditional, I mean that it fits over the bridge of the nose and then over the mouth, covering your mouth and nose, giving you a really stable fit. So if you're one of those people that just like to get the job done, you don't mind a little something extra on your face, this is a really good option for those kind of people. It does have a really soft silicone seal here that what they call roll fit. You can see how it kind of adapts to the pressure you're putting on it there. That's built to keep from having those irritations across the bridge of the nose. It does a really good job of that while still maintaining a nice seal across there, because that's where a lot of people get the leak, is up in their eyes, the corners of their eyes on a full face like this. It does a good job of sealing in that area. The 4-point traditional headgear is very stable on the head, so it's not going to move around as you move around in bed, which makes it less likely that you're going to have leaks and more likely that you're going to get a good long-term seal with this mask. The other thing to point out is the traditional headgear is really well-designed headgear. You know, it's almost like a dry fit material in the back where a lot of people get that kind of sweaty headgear feeling. So it does a good job of, I think they call it cool vent or venti-cool or something like that. It's with the headgear design. It doesn't give you that feeling of so much on your head that your head's starting to sweat. Downsides, I think, to this mask are pretty darn obvious. It's the bulkiest. It is the most on your face. And if that bothers you, this probably isn't the mask for you. But if it doesn't, it's probably worth a try if you're a mouth breather especially. The other thing about it is there's quite a few parts on it, you know, to assemble and disassemble, making it a little more probably in the department of cleaning and maintenance, but really not by far. So if you want the mask that just gets the job done, you're a mouth breather, or you're the type of person that just likes to crank something down, maybe high pressure CPAP or BiPAP, this is a pretty darn good option for people and certainly worth a try. Vitera. Next up, I'm gonna hit you with another tried and true here. This is the Eson 2. You will notice it is very similar to what we just looked at, the Vitera. This is also made by Fisher & Paykel. It is, again, the Eson 2. It has a very stable traditional nasal fit. When people go to a nasal mask, a lot of times they'll go to an open line of sight first, which is a great idea, maybe like the N20 or something like that. But you lose a little bit of stability with that particular headgear that gives you open line of sight on a nasal mask. And that's why this one's still my top pick. The 4-point headgear for somebody that's switching to a nasal mask gives them real stability. They can move back and forth without the mask moving or breaking seal across the bridge of the nose. It's also really a very comfortable mask. You'll notice I'm wiggling around on there. You can see how it kind of floats on the nose and has a great little seal across the bridge of the nose, giving you comfort and a good seal. Also on the front, a very well diffused exhalation. You're not going to hear this mask ring at all. And it is, like I said, a super stable fit, very easy to use, and similar to all the points I just made about the Vitera, it's going to get the job done for you as long as you're not a heavy mouth breather. A couple of drawbacks on this. It is one of the bulkier options for a traditional nasal mask. There are some less obstructive. Obviously, you could go with a Cradle design like the AirTouch N30i I showed you earlier, or maybe one of the other options like the N20 that don't have anything in front of the face. If you're looking for something a little less obstructed and bulky on the face, this one will get the job done, but there's going to be a little bit more in front of the eyes and obviously a good bit more up on the forehead. And you do from time to time hear that people have that bridge of nose irritation from a traditional nasal moving across and sealing on the bridge of the nose. If that happens for you, you're probably going to want to switch to something like a Cradle that has less contact across the bridge. But overall, we really like this mask. This is one that we've really gone to as a go-to for people looking for traditional nasals. A ton of our old school customers that are like comfort gels and profile lights and the old masks that everybody loved that they've discontinued. This one's been a really good one for those type of users to switch to a more modern mask while getting a more traditional seal. Last one up. This is the AirFit F40, another brand new mask for 2025 here. This one's super cool. As you can tell, it is a full face in that it allows you to breathe through your nose and your mouth, but it is what we call a minimal contact full face because it does not go across the bridge of the nose at all. That makes this mask extremely useful for people that do not want something across the bridge of their nose or an obstructed line of sight, but also need to breathe through their mouth. You'll see that it is a really low profile there, right? Except for the tube coming off, there's very little to this cushion. So it seals well without a whole lot of bulk on the face. The magnetic clips option make it really nice for taking this on and off. Swivel and extension tube gives you a lot of freedom of movement back and forth. And it has an extremely well diffused exhalation on the front. You and your bed partner are not gonna feel or hear a thing on this mask. And the other drawback I'll point out that might affect you is a similar drawback to other minimal contact masks. Higher pressures sometimes can cause leaks, especially along the nose. When you're at a higher pressure, I really think masks like the Vitera probably do a better job because you get a real stable fit. You don't get as much of the creases and cracks around your nose and lips and everything like that. This mask is going to do a great job overall for most people, but if you get on up to the 15 centimeters of pressure plus or higher bi-level pressures, a lot of times you really got to go with a more traditional fit. So I wouldn't say this has any issues fitting 90% of people, but just keep that in mind. If you try it and you're getting those leaks or you're really at a high pressure, it's worth a try, but it may not fit the bill. Overall though, this thing has been a really popular mask since we released it. People are liking it a lot, and it just is really simple to use, very comfortable, super lightweight headgear. I think it's certainly worth a shot for a lot of people. All right, so that takes you through all of my choices for the 5 categories of masks that we consider categories here. And so I hope it made narrowing down a mask choice for you, whether you're switching from an old mask or starting CPAP for the very first time. An easier task for you. It's certainly going to be a great place to start. Keep in mind here at CPAP My Way, and I think a lot of other places to be honest, we have a 30-day mask guarantee, so if you're trying something new, you don't like it, send it back and get something different. It's no cost to you. And I also want to remind you that all the detailed review and try-ons and my pro and con reviews are going to be in the description. So if you liked any of the overviews of these masks, scroll down, click on the detailed video, and you'll be able to watch a deep dive on all of them. As always, I'm really appreciative of you watching. Subscribe for more information like this. Comment with any input, especially if you've got feedback, personal use of any of these masks. That is super helpful for others. I know a lot of people scroll down and read the comments, especially those that have some personal experience, both pro and con. So please throw that in there. Thank you for watching.